ever heard of the Baker Haskell or Wakarusa Wetlands?
No.
Okay. Have you ever heard of the South Lawrence Traffic Way? Are you familiar with the Wakarusa Wetlands?
No.
Have you ever heard of the Baker Haskell or Wakarusa Wetlands? Okay. Have you ever heard of the South Lawrence Traffic Way? Are you familiar with the Wakarusa Wetlands? Do you know what the wetlands are or know anything about their history?
No.
Are you familiar with the Wakarusa Wetlands?
Not really.
Okay. Do you know anything about them?
No.
Okay. Do you know what the wetlands are or know anything about their history?
No, I don't know anything.
Okay. Are you familiar with the Wakarusa Wetlands?
No.
Are you familiar with the Wakarusa Wetlands?
No.
Okay. Have you ever heard of the Baker Haskell or Wakarusa Wetlands? Have you ever heard of the Baker Haskell or Wakarusa Wetlands? And do you know the positive aspects of a wetlands ecosystem?
Yeah, I've heard of them, and I mean, not really sure of the positives of a wetland ecosystem.
Have you ever heard of the Baker Haskell or Wakarusa Wetlands? And do you know the positive aspects of a wetlands ecosystem?
I've just heard the words Wakarusa Wetlands, and I've kind of gotten to know the area or whatever because of just past events that have been there, but other than that, I don't really know much about it.
Do you know what the wetlands are or know anything about their history?
I know what the wetlands are, but I don't know too much about their history.
Okay.
But I think they should also think about a lot of the nature aspects of it and what it will do to the community, the wildlife and stuff.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, that sounds important. I mean, you're talking about something that's really important to both a bunch of people and also the environment around us, and it doesn't seem like it's going to make that big of an impact with the improvement that it's offering. So yeah, that definitely seems like a big, important issue.
I don't think they should do that.
Why?
I mean, I think they have the power to. Yeah, they should
Make other people make the community vote or
have more meetings or something like that, so that other people can give their inputs or something. Just we want to make this better.
They should definitely, make it a vote to the public, or at least talk to some experts about it, because there are so many huge impacts that you can have from adding a trafficway. Like, I can think of in Florida, they made an entire species extinct because they made a road right through a swamp where that's the only place that the bird lived.
Okay.
Do you know anything about them?
That they're building the highway through the wetlands,
Yes, they are.
the South Lawrence Traffic Way, and it's been going on for years.
Yes, even as a visitor, I've heard of it, yes.
Wow, what all do you know?
The issue is paving over the wetlands, and since I'm environmentally conscious and have grandchildren I want to see inherit the wetlands, I hate seeing it done.
I understand both sides have, their reasons for why they do or don't want the highway to go through. I know it's in the process of being built right now, and it's been through the courts, and it's taken a lot of time, money, and effort. And it's unfortunate they couldn't reach a compromise that made everybody happy.
Unfortunately, I think when you're young, you're living in the moment, and so you're busy with your friends and what's going on, trying to keep up with academics. So the broader picture of the world sometimes is not there, whether it's international, unfortunately even local, and that's where students like you can change it.
Probably 10 years ago, 15 years ago, there were more people that were directly involved and informed about it, but it's kind of a transient community because of the university, so I think there's the people that have grown up here probably pay close attention to the issue, and people that have environmental concerns in general pay close attention to the issue, but I don't know that it's been at the forefront of the community discussion, for really the last 5 or 10 years.
That's true. I think economic reality needs to be tempered by environmental reality. And, the road is a stopgap measure, and, it'll fix something, but you can't bring back the wetlands.
when I did come here as a student, a lot of our discussion and various courses in the American Indian Studies program, we talked about the importance of the wetlands culturally because, as many people may know or may not know, that Haskell first began operating as a boarding school. During that time, from what I understand, is a lot of the students that came here or were forced to come here in the late 1800s found refuge in the wetlands. They would maybe go down there and practice some ceremony or various things like that. And what I've also been told, but I haven't seen any writings on, was that there are children down there who were possibly buried down there. A lot of people who do care, but I think, as history has shown, that the people with the money and the ability to enact so-called progress, they're going to get what they want in the end. This has been, as far as I know, going on for I think 25 years, and from the information that I know of, I think they did propose an alternative route, but no, they said it had to go through that particular place. Overall awareness about it, can create more empathy, but what do you do when it's you have limited resources to kind of
Get the information out there.
Yeah,
So at that point, when your involvement started, what would you say the level of awareness was for just general Lawrence citizens?
I'd say the level of awareness for most Lawrence citizens was one of just general ignorance. I think, again, it gets very complicated for the general public because when we started raising objections based on environmental concerns, based on what we considered the sacredness of the wetlands, based on our cultural connection, our educational connection, the historic significance, that one of the first reactions we got from people who had lived here a long time, oh, well, you used to farm that land. I mean, how can you respect something if you were farming it? And then people in Lawrence, Kansas, really were unfamiliar with the fact that in Indian boarding schools, the people in the boarding schools had very little say about what they were doing. These decisions were all a part of federal Indian policy, with the decisions being made by people in Washington. And so if they had asked, Haskell students and their families, do you think they ought to plow that up? I think they would have heard a resounding no. But I think people in suburban, urban developments and sprawls generally aren't thinking about themselves and who they are in the context of those larger environments, landscapes, and ecosystems. And I think that's a problem. I think that's a challenge then. How do you get them to understand and be aware? I think you just look for opportunities to sort of do things that affirm the values. So WPO is working on this walk down here, this trail. I think that's really important to get people down there in the wetlands. The best way to get people to value the wetlands is to get them down there, not talk about it. So I think those kinds of ideas, and it's just ongoing education. You have to constantly be educating people.
So from a legal perspective, unfortunately, yes, I think the issue of the SLT is decided. But that being said, it doesn't mean that for lack of a better term, that the fight is over. I still think there's opportunities for collaboration to still reach some of the goals. And so now, as advocates to protect the wetlands, the question becomes, how do we try to impact that development to perhaps accomplish as many goals as possible? So for example, I know that there are some people who are working on including in the construction project overpasses and underpasses, which would allow for wildlife especially to go back and forth freely and not be in danger from the construction. or not just construction, but also from highway traffic. So that's an example where working collaboratively, possibly with the state, and making it an opportunity for all parties to win. So those people who want to have the over and underpasses included could perhaps work collaboratively with the state and say, you know what, we realize that legally this case might have been decided, but maybe if we include both the overpass and the underpass, everybody could walk away a little bit happier. You would look better from media perspective. We would be able to get some of our conservation and biodiversity goals met. So I think there's still definitely opportunity, given that construction has not progressed far. There's still some opportunity through collaboration and consultation to accomplish some of those goals as well. So.